reached out and asked if you had read the indictment. You said you read it word for word, page for page, right?
I did. I keep up. I love Jackson.
Even though they've not been in court and they've not been found guilty, it's just an indictment at this point.
They don't see it. My first statement was, think of your family. Think about your family. Put your family first.
I never thought in a million years we would have been put in the situation that we were in. Never. Because we went through our whole career doing the right thing.
It's utterly ridiculous to me. Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous. And good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Othor Cain Show. Glad to have you here on a Tuesday evening. Glad to have you aboard. Thank you very much. Listen, thank you to all of our subscribers. We're going to create this little group and do some really good things for our subscribers coming up in just a little bit. If you haven't taken the time to subscribe, please do something. Like my head is bouncing all over the place. If you haven't taken the time to subscribe, please do so. If you haven't done so, we appreciate your support. As a subscriber, you'll be given some exclusive content. You'll be made aware of things that are happening in advance, right? And you'll get lots of good additional news stories as we continue to push to try and tell our own stories and to be in control of the narrative. Outside of that, I really do appreciate your responding to posts, sending stars, doing all of the good things. And as always, we appreciate your financial support as well. Lots of stuff happening, a lot of things coming up that we're excited to be talking about. Coming up, hopefully within the next few days, we'll have an opportunity to talk about the 1877 project, a project that's happening at Jackson State University, where alumni and stakeholders and friends are coming together to really put some pressure on IHL about picking the next president of the university. They want to be involved in a very serious, meaningful, and impactful way in terms of determining the next president, right? They don't want smoke and mirrors. They don't want you to toss a bone and pretend like it's involvement when it really isn't involvement. So they want a real seat at the table. So I'm excited to be able to share that story with you. Also excited to be able to share a story about Jackson's own Cheryl Turner, as she has become the next international president of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Local girl, international president. That's a big deal for Mississippi and in particular for Jackson, Mississippi. We're not going to be long tonight, but we did want to at least pop on for a little bit to talk about Malcolm-Jamal Warner, the death of Malcolm, the death of our beloved Theo. Born in 1970, died this past Sunday, and I would say this first death has been so heavy lately. I mean, 2025 has been a rough year, right? It's been a rough year. I've had some personal losses. My aunt recently died, the last of my mom's siblings, and that hit kind of hard. My minister's son died. He and Jamal roughly around the same age. He died recently. So death has been heavy. And when I heard the news on Sunday about Malcolm-Jamal Warner, I was like taken aback, really. And I'll tell you the difference between some of these deaths. So like when Kobe died, Kobe was like this legendary, iconic figure. And it hurt because of that, right? When Chadwick Boseman died, an amazing actor, public figure, um, and his death hurt because of that. Kobe Bryant, this iconic, legendary figure, sports figure. You know, Chadwick Boseman's iconic actor, right? But with Malcolm-Jamal Warner, man, it feels like family died, right? Watching the Huxtables, you know, all those years ago, not missing a Thursday night episode, as Dr. J said, um, um, watching him evolve, right? The middle child of the Huxtables, and Theo is based on Enos Cosby, the only son of Bill Cosby. You know, watching this guy who I think started this show at 14, right? For many young black men, and in a lot of cases, black men, period, seeing him on the Cosby Show was the first glimpse of a young black man on TV, right? Um, he was iconic. He took that character, he developed that character, and it was just simply amazing. So we kind of grew up together, right? We grew up together, and Theo was the guy, right? Theo was the guy, and because he was so profound, I've been watching so many clips. You know, y'all know me. I go down these rabbit holes, right? I go down these rabbit holes when something is near and dear. I just dig until I can. I've definitely gone down the Malcolm-Jamal Warner rabbit hole, and I watched the clip yesterday. And even though I don't really like the show The Breakfast Club, I can't stand Charlemagne. Um, I don't like that show at all. But I watched a clip of Malcolm on there, and he talked about, you know, his name. He talked about how much his dad instilled in him. He talked about spending summer vacations with his parents, and his dad would have him reading these books on summer vacation. And he was like, man, why do I got to do all of this? You know, and it's summertime, you know, and it's vacation time. And he talked about his dad instilling greatness in him, preparing him for something great. Had no idea what platform he would have, had no idea how he would use all of that knowledge and all of those teachings that his dad drilled in him. But he said on the Breakfast Club, he said, my dad was preparing me for greatness. And I believe he achieved that greatness. One actor simply said, rest well, King. You have no idea of the impact that you made. You have no idea of the impact. And not only was Theo an actor, you know, musician, a poet, a writer, um, he was just an incredibly, he appeared to be an incredibly, just super cool, super nice dude who really cared about his community, you know. And even after the Cosby Show, he continued working. To me, he is one of the best examples that was out there about a child actor turn to a successful adult actor, like a child star, really transitioning into adulthood and maintaining that line of integrity, right? Um, Theo was that. He was our Theo, man. It honestly felt like, for me, it still feels like for me, that we've lost another family member, right? Who didn't look up to Theo, man? Goofy. And there's a little montage, um, you know, that we have with some favorite clips of him. Just iconic, man. Just iconic. Absolutely iconic. I don't know about y'all, but 2025 has been rough. death has been a little heavy. But feel free to join, share your thoughts. If you want to be pulled into the stream, you can do that as well. But we'd love to hear your thoughts. Love to know what you think about Theo. Man, I mean, this brother was more iconic than he even knew, right? Than he even knew. You know, after the Cosby Show, he continued to build a diverse and acclaimed career. He starred rather in the UPN sitcom Malcolm and Eddie. The Cosby Show, I think, went off the air in '92. I think '92 is when it went off the air, and so from 1996 until 2000, he starred in the UPN sitcom Malcolm and Eddie. And he also held recurring roles in numerous TV dramas and comedies, including Major Crimes, Suits, Community, The Resident, Read Between the Lines, Jeremiah, and 911. So I'm literally saying at 14, he was in front of millions as Theo, and he continued up until his last day. Family man, leaves behind a daughter and a wife. And I would say this to you, you know, Malcolm-Jamal Warner is someone you rarely, if ever, heard about anything going on in his personal life. I was reading something today, and he said that he largely kept his wife and daughter of the media. In fact, he was on a family vacation in Costa Rica when this tragic incident happened. But I think he's left us all speechless, left us all wondering or wondering why and how this happened, right? I think for all of us, we're questioning why this great loss. You know, I was watching a video today, and this social media influencer, she has an amazing following, and she said, "Why are all the good ones leaving when you know there are some that should be taken out?" I took it that she was referring to Donald Trump simply because she talks about him a lot, and and while you don't wish death on anybody, right? But I will say it was extremely funny. You know, so funeral details have not officially been announced. The family did ask for privacy, but the tributes, I'm telling you, man, they are pouring, pouring, pouring in because he was beloved. He was absolutely beloved. What are your thoughts on Theo? What do you think, man? Um, I'm telling you, for me, the best example that I could think of is how much he cared for the Black community, how much he worked for the culture, right? How much time and sacrifices he really made for the culture. You know, even launching a podcast he did to really elevate the conversation about the Black experience, right? And wanting to work through all of the nuances that comes with just simply being Black. Katrina, you're right. Theo was everybody's little brother. He was, man. He was everybody's brother. Everybody's little brother. You know, I mean, honestly, he really was. That's a great description. That's a great description. I think he was everybody's little brother. I think it was everybody's little brother. And I listened to Bill Cosby do an interview with Jerika. I can't even think of Jerika's last name on CBS. And one of the things that he said was, even on the set of the Cosby Show, that Theo never had a problem with going back to his room and studying. He was always prepared, knew his lines, timing was good, but he never had a problem studying. and perfecting his craft. Just simply amazing. Just simply amazing. You know, and the Cosby Show was iconic for so many different reasons, right? For so many different reasons, and one, you know, it sparked a conversation saying black folk didn't live like that, right? But it also sparked a conversation that um, black people, we're not monolithic, right? And that we all have varied experiences, and we all come from different sectors, right? And we're all different. We're not a monolithic kind of people. And so the Cosby Show was just so iconic in that regard because it broke barriers, and there were so many lessons. Excuse me. There were so many lessons every Thursday night when you watch that show, just so many lessons from the Cosby Show. I remember one in particular, you know, when Theo was not um, making the grades. Um, um, when Theo just wasn't making the grades, he was having challenges and difficulty in school, and again, he was loosely based on um, Bill's real son, um, um, and so he had these challenges. What that episode did for Black America and America at large, it really helped to define a turning moment in challenges and learning disabilities, and it increased testing across the country, both black and white, and increased testing. And so I think that Malcolm and Jamal, that within itself playing that role and causing America to react to that and to go get tested and to realize the learning challenges. It was historic. It was historic. Katrina says it's funny that Caitlin doesn't know him as Theo, but a physician on the resume. Yeah, right. Because of the generation gap, right? So yeah, a lot of these youngsters don't know about the Cosby Show and how iconic that show was, and how it is still necessary today, right? How it is still necessary today. And Malcolm defined it, he owned it, and he delivered it every single week, right? He did. We all wanted a Gordon Gartrell t-shirt or shirt, yeah. As ugly as it was, we all wanted one, right? We all wanted one of those shirts. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Dr. Tim. We all wanted. Yeah, Katrina, real life scenarios were played out on the Cosby Show every single week. You know, and then even the spinoff for different worlds showing black college life. There was just so many lessons from the Cosby Show. It was just unbelievable, unbelievable. You know, and it showed a black family unit. You know, that we all could aspire to be. Right? It showed a real black family unit. Two successful. Um, uh, Black parents, and they dealt with real life issues, just real life issues. They really did. They really, really, really did, man. And this is such a tragic, untimely loss. It really is such a tragic, untimely, untimely uh, loss. Just almost unthinkable, man. Almost absolutely unthinkable. Sean says, I still watch the Cosby Show almost on a daily basis. Every time I can catch it. Me as well, right? Every time I can catch it. Means because it's still on point. There's still lessons that you can learn, man. I'm telling you. You know, there's this thing called appointment TV, right? Appointment TV. When you literally schedule when you're going to watch. And I am telling you, every Thursday in America, I know every black household was glued to the television set for appointment TV. I mean, it just really was. Just absolutely, really was. Just simply, was simply one of the best shows ever done. One of the best shows ever done. Dr. J, I don't know if you have that clip of that montage of episodes. Do you have that?
Instead of acting disappointed because I'm not like you, maybe you can just accept who I am and love me anyway because I'm your son.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. No wonder you get D's and everything. I just want you to do the best you can. That's all.
I'll try, Dad.
Yeah.
I really will.
All right. I love you.
Yeah, Dad.
Huh?
I know.
Yeah. And maybe your mother loves you too.
Man, I'm telling you, one of the best. I don't know if we played that from the beginning or if we jumped in the middle because I was looking for another pursuit. But I am telling you, every single episode was Katrina. Katrina, the topic the next day at school. Every single episode, right? Mm-hmm. Theo got his ears pierced on that episode. That is hilarious. But big kudos to Bill Cosby and all of the folk that brought us that show to show us Black excellence, right? To really defy the odds of what folk were thinking and the box that folk were trying to put us in, right? They defied that with the Cosby Show, and Theo was a key figure, a central figure. You know, I was reading where, at 14, 15 years old, he's out speaking to millions of people, and he was saying this during that interview. He was out speaking to millions of people, traveling the country, speaking to people, and again, not realizing what his dad was instilling in him at the time. He bucked against his dad, making him read these history books, and then getting to class, and sometimes it became topics of conversation during his own regular schooling. And he said that he realized none of the kids around him could, they weren't answering the questions the same. They couldn't explain the same. And he said then it became so abundantly clear to him that what his dad was doing was really preparing him for greatness, and he was equipping him with the tools he needed to succeed. And that's how he really developed his love for community, his love for his people. Right? Um, Gone too soon is a serious understatement. Gone entirely too soon. So our hearts, our prayers go out to Malcolm-Jamal Warner, to him, to his family, his loved ones, all that knew him, all that loved him, right? Tough pill to swallow. Tough pill to swallow. Man, I am telling you. So they're. I know for sure. I've been um, editing some stories. So I know there's a story that's coming up with him. Jamar says Keisha Knight Pullum is his age, so Malcolm-Jamal Warner still was like a big brother to me. The way that character developed was absolutely outstanding, man. Absolutely outstanding. Yeah. So he's like a big brother to you. For me, he was like a brother. I'm a couple of years older than him, but man, everybody's brother. Everybody's brother. Everybody's brother. Almost just unbelievable. It's kind of hard to process it, right? Kind of hard to process this one. But again, a great example of Black excellence. And I think that we can relish in the fact that he was the standard, right? To see this young black guy on TV, for us at the time represented an icon, that we could see a young man that looked like us on TV. So many, Dr. J, you're right. So many iconic episodes. And Dr. J says one of our favorites is when they moved all of his things out and he had to pay rent, get a job. Season 2, episode 21. Oh, okay, then you know it that specifically. But yeah, so many iconic lessons, major lessons, that we learned from the Cosby Show. Uh, so many lessons. So many lessons that we learn. All right, guys. Well, we promised not to be too long tonight. We just really wanted to share our thoughts, offer our condolences, our well wishes to such an iconic figure. He changed the landscape, right? He changed the landscape. And I do like the fact that although he was in the public's eye, the public was not in his eye. He didn't expose his business, man. He shielded himself from all of that foolishness, from all of that stuff that Hollywood can bring out. He shielded himself, his wife, his daughter. He did. He did. He's our Theo. Our Theo. And we mourn his death, but his legacy will live on. And when that guy said, "Rest well, King, you have no idea what you did for us." He wasn't looking to be that kind of role model. It was just in him. It's just who he was. Not just as an actor, but as a human being. It was who he was. Absolutely who he was. I hope, though, as tragic as it is, it's my hope that we can build on his greatness, that we can continue that. And whenever we're having a bad moment and we want to snap, we want to go off, we want to set the record straight, it is my hope that we remember Malcolm-Jamal Warner and build on his greatness. Let's do that. Let's take the lessons that we learned from Theo, share them, and try to implement them. Right? Don't let one bad moment ruin your entire day. You know, it takes a lot to act a fool. Right? It takes a lot to act a fool. I like that, Tiffany. I like that. Malcolm-Jamal Warner, aka the culture's brother. He was, man. He was. He worked for the culture. He appreciated the culture. He represented the culture well. He held the culture to high standards and he delivered every single time. So he's the culture's brother. I like that a lot. Absolutely. And again, it's my hope you're pressing up against something, that we can remember the spirit of Malcolm-Jamal Warner. He lifted us, man. Black excellence. He lifted us. Absolutely. Jamar, he's absolutely a Grammy winner. Absolutely. A good musician. A good poet. A good poet. The culture's brother. That's good. That's good. And given the state of affairs that we're in now, given the state of affairs that we are in now, what we're experiencing right now, let's represent the culture. Fam, we are all we got. We are all we got. We're all we got. We need to become, in Tiffany's word, the culture's brother or sister. We need to become that. We are all we got. Don't let all of these distractions from Trump and all of these other things and ways you're being distracted. Don't let that make you miss the mark. Absolutely. A true lyricist, man. I'm telling you, again, like I said, going down that rabbit hole, I watched this spoken word piece that he did for Black History. Powerful, man. Powerful. Powerful. Absolutely powerful. Don't miss the mark. With all the foolishness going on now, all around us, don't miss the mark. Let the greatness of Malcolm-Jamal Warner rise up. Let that greatness rise up. All right? Thank you, guys. Just wanted to come on. Couldn't miss this moment without talking about Malcolm. All right? Hope you guys have a great night. Hope you have a great night. We've got some really exciting shows coming up, and I can't wait to start promoting them and giving you an opportunity to sow a seed and to share with us. We'll start those promotions on tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you again.